Hello. We are just getting the tea situation under control, and then we'll stream for like maybe an hour. I don't know. We'll see. It's late at night. We're going to see how it goes. We now have tea. We now have pure tea without contaminants as well. It's all good. It is all good. Okay, so where we left off, we were looking at the Jackass code, which someday will be named to something like what it actually does that's not a joke, but that day is not today. Whoops. Okay. So where we left off, and I haven't thought about it much since then because I was on a long call talking to people, is how do I deal with this? It's weird. So I guess one thing we could do is enable Jackass, but don't do it if there are bakes. And get that running and then figure out the bakes maybe. Because that would mean, because then I could just do the hash table part tonight. Let's start doing that. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing, actually. I think we're going to want the hashes on the types instead of on the type infos. Like we could just move that, and that would be a significant part of the stream. Let's go to type table. Ooh, I'm already tired. So we have this SDBM hash, which, I mean, honestly, we can do a better hash than that. But so for every type info that we add, we do an SDBM. And then this is like what? Like, why am I doing all this? Why don't I just do... Why don't I just do that? Rather than all this weird stuff. So anyway, we do all this stuff where we do hashes. I mean, why don't I just do this? A type. Doesn't seem, yeah, that's fine. Wait. Okay, this is a mistake right here. Because we're hashing all array dimensions to the same thing. Also, why do these have the wrong names? Like what? So we have fixed. We have view. Do we name this right in preload? Fixed, view, and resizable. Those are the right names. So we're going to call this view resizable. You know, these are not really what I set out to working on, but all of these things are making the compiler slightly better. All right. So, yes. Yes. Relative pointer size. And then we do the hash. So these hashes are on the structs that we export to the people. However, I feel like maybe they should be on the base types. And I'm trying to think, what advantages does that give us? One, if we want to ask if two types are equal, first we check the hashes. If the hashes are not equal, they're definitely not equal. Hopefully. Well, first you check the pointers, then you check the hashes, and then if the hashes are the same, we can do a type by type comparison. I can imagine there being mistakes with that. But it's probably fine. Let's move SDBM into ask.h and probably should use the AES deck thing or whatevs. Okay. I'm young. This might be a short stream, guys. Might be a short stream. Now I did already in type definition put a hash member. It's right there. So That's very good. I put it in a place where it already fit in like a hole in the struct. The struct is really big, but so is every other struct. We're going to have to attack them at some point. Yeah, I could imagine like, we could do what we do for literals, where we just, if it's an array, we break all this stuff off into its own thing, right? If it's a procedure, we break all this stuff off. And, you know, that would make this struct a lot smaller. Yeah, I even have this note here. This is not extended info procedure, it's extended procedure info. Yeah, it'll still be too big after that, but nevertheless, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. Because we make a lot of types. I actually don't know. We sort of make a lot of types, but then we sort of also just reuse a lot of types that already exist. So I'm actually not sure. C++ programming before going to bed. Well, if that is what you are into, we do have a little bit of that happening here. Okay. So I could basically just copy this hash stuff over and not even use it yet, right? Okay. So we do have a thing where we say init size on types, and I kind of worry. So then we have this size of function. So we can, you know, also init a hash here. So we call that maybe size and hash of now. Haven't seen any namespaces. What? Why would you expect to see namespaces? Is it a problem that you don't see namespaces? Do you mean C++ namespaces? Because those are like horrible. Why would you ever use them? Except if you absolutely had to solve a compilation error. Okay, size of. We're going to say size and hash of. Now the problem is, what do we do? There is a little bit too much indirection here. Okay, but this was actually where translate type. Oh, yuck, there's a mutex. Okay, so this doesn't care about polymorphism. It doesn't really set the hash here, though, which honestly it should. All these like have the same hash. That seems kind of bad. Like that could be a little bit slower than we would like. Maybe. Okay. Yeah, let's just be doing this. Okay, so I think we don't need this check anymore. And we don't need this check anymore. Old news. So we're going to try building and see if we screwed things up. I turned Jackass off, right? No, I didn't. Okay. Place hash function with return 10. See if it blows up. It won't blow up. Like it won't. Well, it shouldn't. It shouldn't actually fail to compile. It would just take longer. Right? I'm not one of those irresponsible people who thinks a 32-bit hash means things are equal in terms of correctness. It just means if they're different, then they're not equal. That's all. Okay. I mean, everything appeared to work, so that's great. We're just taking a couple of lines out right here. Just get rid of them. Lol, this isn't a thing yet. What's current Weissman score? This is not really a Weissman scoreable task. I am questioning my life decisions right now. I'm questioning my life decisions. The reason I'm doing this is I did all this stuff. The thing that I did about types match exactly and whatever, I did that because I thought like it made sense to decouple it from the type info stuff. Because that's like a separate system, you know, it's a user-facing representation, etc. And we'd had some kind of bug where things didn't have that set. And I was like, oh yeah, well it's like a pipelined thing and maybe they're not set. But it's not. It's like set at the same time as the size. which means forgot what I was in the middle, what sentence I was in the middle of. Anyway, what I'm saying is there's actually not utility to doing this right now for the purposes of getting Jackass booted necessarily. What there is utility in doing is maybe fixing the hashes and stuff for now. Okay, that we keep. These will revert for now. Whoops. Let's go back and look at this. And so for all these integer types and stuff, all right. Wait, where does the first hash value come from? All right. That's not going to be a very good hash. Let me just spell that out for a little bit so it'll be easier to edit later. Okay. Oops. Yeah, we need to get our SDBM function back, by the way. Just going to put that right back there. I mean, I guess if you pass 0 as the second argument, you just get the first thing with this hash. Which is not the worst thing in the universe. All right, so let's actually hash some things together, though, when we have them. Okay. So relative strings will get the hash of the sub thing. Number flags. Okay. So when we compare, we look at runtime size. Oh, yeah. I'm actually doing something a little bit wrong here. Maybe I'm not. Maybe not. We'll see. Okay, let's see how this goes. Almost guarantee you I made a mistake so far. Maybe not. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe. I actually don't know about this one. Like, do we really need... I feel like the answer might be no. They certainly aren't different from each other. So maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll factor that out. So we do a bunch of hash stuff there. All right. And then array. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay, this is working fine. Let's try this experiment. All right. Wait, literally nobody calls either of these? What? What? Oh, this does. Template is the magic of templates. Okay. 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 That's some code we're going to want to get rid of. But anyway, tag polymorphic. I'm going to try this. We're going to say, what is finish and return? Okay. Okay, so when we start up, I believe we make a few basic ones. Register basic types. Oh, we have polyuse. Wait, do we never even get here? No, we do. So we could reduce that pointer chasing right there, probably. Why is there a T here? I just have to even know what this is. I'm sure it's absurd. Provide sample template arguments for IntelliSense. No, let's not and say we did. Really would like to not do that. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna ice this. Just gone. And you know, honestly, not a huge change so far, but small cleanups and hash fixes to, I'm checking in the wrong thing. Small cleanup and hash fixes to type table stuff. Bam. Bam, bidda bam. How's it going, everybody? It's late at night where I am. I don't know where you are. Going good? Well, that's good. Trying to think what else I want to do right now, honestly. Because making the Jackass completely happen is going to be a little bit challenging. What do I think about Brett Victor and his idea? That's the kind of question that I'm not going to really answer. It's way too broad. And there's nothing productive that I can say in answer to that question. Sorry about that. Whoa. Sorry about that big yawn. Okay, so once again, going back to the Jackass scenario. I have hashes that I should be able to use. Let's see. Let's go back to this scenario and rebuild this, and then I'm going to go here. And the whole reason I did some of this type checking stuff was like, does that trip now? It does. But it's actually easy to fix that trip, which I didn't realize the other stream whenever we were doing this. Okay, so the size is going to be less than 0. Where did this come from? It's a literally empty type definition. I am literally shaking right now. It's created at startup. It's probably just one of the little utility types. It's probably literally happens for one thing. Let's find out what it is. This ought to be easy. Type def autocast. Okay, so this is a utility type. Right, okay. Oh gosh. I'm kind of sad now. Kind of sad now. So I forgot about this. Okay. This I'm going to have to sleep on. Because here's the thing. This is like, you put XX, the autocast operator, or whatever, in a particular argument. That says, hey, cast it to whatever it is going to be. Makes plenty of sense, right? Well, that's the type of the input expression when you try to call the procedure, regardless of what's on the other side of the autocast, right? Whether you put a string on the right-hand side and whether you put And that autocast could fail or succeed for different overloads, and that would determine which overload that you choose. Okay? So like you can't just look at the input type. That is not actually a thing. We have to at least I am not happy about this. We could definitely detect simple situations, or we could flag autocast. We could flag, it's starting to be a little bit hinky. Starting to be a little bit hinky, but we could do it. Flag auto cast record RHS type and match on that question mark. Okay. This is actually fun. Let's see if it happens for anything else besides autocast. This just reminded us of that issue. But now that we know how we would handle that, we can look at it. So type info. Okay, if def and not equal to interp, type def autocast. This probably trips for something else. Let's see. Nope. Okay, that is actually kind of okay. This is getting more complicated than I would like, but it's actually kind of okay. So we could have some flags about what is the thing. If it's a polymorph definer, that's a flag. If it's an autocast, that's a flag. And then we put the right-hand side in the type slot. Assuming we can find it, which we had better be able to, because I don't think you're allowed to infer to autocast. Let's do this. If it's autocast, else this, okay? Assert that that's a cast, please. Please. Okay, if I had just stopped and done that observation several days ago, whenever this was, probably would have thought about this earlier and had it a little more figured out. Jackass only for determined input types. I mean, maybe. The problem is just if I start trying to solve this by cutting out all these cases, like I was going to say, well, maybe we just don't do if there's a bake, which actually we still could do, right? It's like, well, autocast is kind of common, and if you start cutting out things that are kind of common, is it really a good feature if it doesn't handle very much? Anyway, so we could make a little record that says here are the input types for all the arguments. And if we wanted to, we could, at least in the short term, restrict Jackass detection to if there are no bakes. I wouldn't want to do that long term, right? But it's like, just to figure this out and make sure it works and make sure it's good, we could do that. And then once that works, which I don't think is very hard from here, I don't want to do it tonight because it's bedtime, but it's like, oh, okay, we have type info for literally everything except AutoCast, but AutoCast, we want to look at this. Okay, well, let's do the one more step here, right? There we go. And we're going to go so we had better have whoops. We'd better be able to get the type info from that. And the type info has the hash on it right now. Oh, really? Really? Okay, what is this? Is it another thing that also doesn't have, but that's also not cast? Oh, I did the wrong thing. I retook the type of the expression itself. We want expression here. Get inferred type asked cast arrow expression. Okay. Ding, ding, ding. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, this is fine. I mean, it's a little bit more complicated than I would like, but it's actually fine. So, looking back, so we need to handle this. We need to handle all this kind of stuff down here. This stuff that we were looking at earlier. Overload set, that one's gnarly. Let me write that down. Overload set, we need to compare procedures, definers and literals, which we have a function for about whether they match exactly. However, there's the question of how do we hash them? And we might just hash them by the literal type and let them alias to each other apart from that, because we have a literals match exactly function. And we actually, so if we make these literals earlier, right, the problem is this frickin' thing. Oh, but we can reverse the order of these maybe. We could do this first on entry to the procedure. We get all these things lined up. And then this part, this is the part that's really necessary for functionality. If there's a polymorphic procedure that's just passed as an argument, we actually just copy it. Which we could do after the Jackass check. Yeah, this is just making a copy so we can modify it. This is a little weird, if I'm being honest. Do we really need this? But it's fine, because for Jackass purposes, this can happen later. And it's just that when we do this, we have to overwrite the bake argument. All right, it's a little more complicated than I would like. However, I mean, we probably get a lot of speed out of it. Did a small project already. Right on. Right on. Good deal. Good deal. Okay, everybody. I'm going to go to bed. But thanks for being here. And just so you know, next time I do Jackass work, I am going to try moving this to the top of the function. I don't know why this is a separate step, because we can't, oh, we do yield there. Anyway, yeah, you got to reorder things. It's all good. Thanks, everybody, and I'll see you later on.